I spend most of the day, every day, at my computer. My day job, the passion project that is this YouTube channel, and pretty much all my hobbies require a computer. But that doesn't mean I'm working from home. I love to travel, I've been working remotely for years, and I live between two different countries. So in the last 6 years, I've been able to dial in on the gear that I need to work and play from anywhere. And in this video, I'm going to show you the contents of my tech bag, the stuff that I bring with me, whether I'm working from a cafe or whether I'm working from a new city for a month. Let's start with the bag that carries it all. This is from a company named Air SF, and they're based in San Francisco. I have a few bags from them. This one in particular was a limited run. This is the Air by Mission Supply Lunar Pack. It is 22 liters, but they do have some other bags that I would also heavily recommend. One thing to note is that this bag also doubles as a travel backpack for me. I fit everything in here plus my sling. So I kind of wear my sling in the front and the backpack in the back. But when I'm just going to a cafe, I do the same thing except I put the sling in the backpack and I don't have like clothing and toiletry. Now let's get into the bag. This is the little tag that they've got here, very minimalist branding, which I like. And it does have a compartment here as well. I think you're supposed to put your water bottle. I always travel with this platypus foldable bottle so that I can compress it while I'm not using it. I always forget that it's there, honestly. I also always bring this thing from PackSafe. This is a cable that I can loop around my suitcase or anything that needs to be secured. Maybe I'm just really security conscious, but I am Filipino, so I do like to have an option to secure my things, even if I'm right next to them. It's just nice to be able to loop it around something, that way someone can't just grab my bag and go. Now, on the other side, it doesn't have another pocket here, but it does have a handle, and this is really handy for being able to pull it out of compartments on the plane or on the train. It does have a front compartment though, which is, semi-hidden. You can kind of hide the zipper there, and it's not too obvious that there's a pocket there. But I still think that it's a little too insecure since it's at the very front of the bag. I didn't even realize that this pocket has a lot of stickers and pins that I was giving out at the last conference that I spoke at. Up at the top, this bag has 3 different pockets. One is the main compartment here. Then there's this quick access pocket, and it looks like I've put my portable power bank there. Usually I put this in my sling. And I also have a spare face mask, just in case. And the third one here is this laptop compartment, all the way at the back. I know you're supposed to put your laptop in here, but what I actually keep here is my iPad Pro 11 inches in its fairly beat up case, as you might be able to see. And I've also got the Apple Pencil magnetically attached here. Sometimes it's overkill to have an iPad when I'm also carrying around a laptop and a foldable phone, but I really like it. I think it's the best tablet that's out on the market, and having the Apple Pencil here means that I can make notes on Excalidraw or make small sketches and still have them be part of my notes in Obsidian. Now let's go to the main compartment. One of the cool things about this bag is I can open it up all the way, just like a suitcase. This is really handy because now it's just so easy to get everything and to both pack and unpack. Before we get into this part though, let's talk about what's in these zippered compartments. In this top one, I've got a little pouch here. I like to use pouches and packing cubes if I'm bringing toiletries or clothes, just to organize things in my bag. It just makes it easier to unpack. In this pouch, I've got something a little unusual. I've got a game. This is a game called The Crew. I've got a few tokens. I have these black rubber bands that I bought separately because I didn't want to bring the entire box. As you can see, this is the German version. These are the missions. And these are the cards themselves. I really love the crew because it is such an easy to play cooperative card game. Anyone who's ever played a trick-taking game like Hearts or poker or anything like that is going to be able to pick this up really quickly. And if they don't, well, it's still a cooperative game. So yeah, I actually bring it with me everywhere. And I've had people that I've played it with immediately ask where I've bought it. It's that good. In this compartment, I've got two other things. My Kindle. This is actually the most basic Kindle there is. This is the 2022 version. I've got a pop socket on the back just because it makes it easy to really just read one-handed that way with either hand. And right now I'm rereading Harry Potter. I know, I don't like her either, but I grew up with Harry Potter, so it does still provide nostalgia, at least for me. I also have my newest Nintendo Switch Lite. I actually have quite a Switch collection, but this one is the newest, lightest one, and I can chuck it into my bag and not really worry about breaking it or anything. Plus, I love this awesome skin that I got from Etsy. This one in particular is my Portuguese one, and so I have everything, all the menus in Portuguese. So it's also a language learning tool while I'm playing. This is my sling bag. It is also made by Air, and I've already made another video going through everything that's in here. I put this sling in here because this is like my setup for when I'm just working at a cafe, but you can see that without the sling, there's still quite a bit of space, and this is where I would normally put my packing cube with my clothes in it and my toiletries. If I think I'm going to be filming or going to video conference, then I would bring this. This is a Switch Pod, and I really like it because it's fairly lightweight. It's like a better version of the Gorilla Pod, and you can just fling it open. It's basically for vlogging, but I just use it as a table tripod. So I would put this camera that I'm filming on now, I would normally bring it if like I were traveling somewhere, but I wouldn't really bring it if I were just going to a cafe to work there for the day. This is my Peak Design tech pack. Let me put this aside because we're going to go right into the details of what's in here in a second. Now, this says Keychron, but don't be fooled. This is not actually a Keychron keyboard in here. I'm just using the case because it's cool and bright. My travel keyboard of choice these days is the Nufi Air 60. This is a relatively new find for me. It is Bluetooth compatible and it's got a switch for PC and Mac. It just sounds really nice. It's got these blue switches. I actually prefer it to the low-profile Keychron K3, even though this is pretty low-profile as well, and actually a better form factor for me. This is the 60 version, which means there are 60 keys. Another selling point for it is that it is designed to exactly fit on top of a MacBook Pro keyboard. I've never really used this feature because I prefer to have my laptop propped up and my keyboard separate, but I think that's a pretty cool feature. I'm just putting it inside this Keychron K3 keyboard case just because it's handy, and I couldn't source the Nufi Air 60 case from Europe for some reason. Now, I mentioned that I usually like to prop up my laptop, and this is what I do that with. Now, this isn't the original. I think the original was something called Roost. And this one is, I'm not sure, either Shred Rack or Tron Nature. I just got it from Amazon and it said Roost, and unfortunately it wasn't the right one. But they function on the same principle. It folds down to this really compact and really light piece of plastic, but you can also transform it and turn it into a laptop stand with different heights that you can move it up to depending on how high you want your laptop to be. I used to think this sort of thing was not essential, but after getting a lot of neck pain, I realized I'm too old to not have a stand. So this one is just, it folds up really easily and it's so light, so I just always bring it. I almost never use my laptop without some sort of stand and keyboard. This is something that doubles as both the case for my laptop and as a handy mat. This is magnetic on all sides, and the way that it just snaps into place is really satisfying. You would think that this wouldn't be a good case if it's open on almost all sides. This third one is just folded over, but it actually holds a laptop pretty well. I really like it because when you open it, it becomes a sort of desk mat, even at a cafe. This was made by Nedralo and I got it from Etsy. I'll put the link so you can buy one too, but I think it's totally worth it. Just look how satisfying that is. And this is my Yubico YubiKey 5C Nano security key, which I just always leave attached to the laptop so it's easy to press when I need to sign in. This sticker is part of the PopSocket wallet, the other half of which I've stuck to the Samsung X5 SSD, which I use for video editing. I know some people use Velcro to keep it safe, but I think this way is just much cleaner. I just slide it onto the laptop like this, and it's pretty secure. It doesn't move even when I'm moving the laptop, which means my editing doesn't get interrupted. And the last thing here is this bit of felt and snaps, and it's actually a portable dice tray. It's not a secret that I love role-playing games. I play 5 a week, and I try not to let traveling change that. So I would roll my dice in here just so they don't go everywhere. It's super lightweight, and it's very easy to pack flat, so I just always bring it. All right. Now for my tech pouch. This is the meat of all of the gadgets and cables. I love this because it's got these straps here, so it's easy to hold. And you can actually, it has these hooks, so you can turn it into like a sling or something. I've never really done that. It's just a tech pouch for me. But it is perfect in terms of the organization. This is the olive version. Honestly, I wish I'd bought the black one. I don't really like this light green hue, but it's still super functional, so I don't want to buy one just because of the color. So the best part about this is that it accordions out and it has separate compartments. It's not too big, it still compresses down, but it just has the separation that I need for lots of little cables. I usually bring headphones that I wear on the plane if I'm going to fly, but I also have these wired earphones just in case. And they're in a little Peak Design pouch. I've got my travel mouse. This is actually my main mouse. It's a Logitech MX Master 3. I prefer it, but for traveling, I just need something that's smaller and lighter. And this is the Logitech MX Anywhere 3. It is really good for traveling, and it just fits very well in my hand. I also have these two things. They are Lexon Mino X Bluetooth speakers. They do have waterproof versions. I actually at home use this one, which is the same speaker, but just encased in a waterproof housing. And this is what I use when I'm showering to listen to music. But for traveling, I like the smaller, not waterproof versions, and these are just handy for playing music or for setting the scene if I'm playing D&D on the go. They also pair together, so you get this stereo sound. They are USB-C rechargeable, which is super important to me because it means that everything that I'm bringing is USB-C compatible. This is a Logitech Spotlight Bluetooth presenter. I often do presentations in my day job, so I really like this one because it's light and small, and you can just plug this into your computer or the computer that's being used for the conference. It's also USB-C rechargeable. I don't think you can see it, but in there's a USB-C cable. And this is just a way to go to the next slide or go back a previous slide. Basically, it's so that I can navigate through my slides without having to be at my laptop. And it comes in this nice little slip case, so I always bring it with me. If I'm bringing my Bluetooth headphones, this is the cable for it. For some reason, it's a 2.5 millimeter jack, so if I want to wire it into my laptop, I have to use this adapter to go from 2.5 to the traditional 3.5 millimeter one. Here I've got a Peak Design capture clip. This one is a spare one that can go on a camera, but it can also go on lights or something. And then in this inner part here, I have my backup YubiKey hardware key. This one is a USB-C version. I always have one that's attached to my laptop, but this is a good backup. So I could also just plug this into any laptop, and then I just have to touch these metal parts here, and it authenticates me to certain services like Google. And in this pocket here, I have a cute little controller. It's a Bluetooth controller. This is micro USB, which I'm not happy about, but look how cute and small it is. This is for my Nintendo Switch. I shared earlier that when I'm traveling, I use my Nintendo Switch Lite, which doesn't have the detachable Joy-Cons. So just in case I want to play a game with my husband or something, one of us can use this. These are 3 cables that are all the same, just different sizes. They're all USB-C to USB-C, and that's because pretty much everything I've got uses USB-C. Apparently, I have some random stickers in here. And in this little pocket are my adapters. So I have one that changes from USB-C to USB-A. I've got another adapter that converts from USB-C to 3.5 millimeter jack for my Switch. I have a memory card reader for USB-C to SD cards. This is USB-A to micro USB for charging the other stuff. Oh, this is a cool one. This is an in-charge one, and it clips together, and it is on one end USB-C, and on the other it's Lightning and micro USB. Clips together magnetically too. Basically, these are all things that I need to be able to go and use any of the USB-C cables and charge everything that I'm bringing with them. Over here is my card reader. I'm an Estonian e-resident, so I do have an ID card that I need to access some services, and this is where I put in that card and attach it to my computer. In this last compartment, this is my Rode Wireless Go pouch. This is a microphone, but a lapel one. So right now I'm showing you the Rode Wireless Go 2s actually, because I'm using the Go right now to make this video. But it's pretty much the same size. So one is a transmitter and the other is a receiver. So one goes and connects to your camera and the other one goes and clips onto your clothing. It's just a really handy mic that I also use for video calls, because you can hook it up to your computer instead of your camera as well. This is my main power brick. This is a U-Green gallium nitride charger, and it goes up to 100 watts. It also has 3 different USB-C ports and a USB-A port, which I almost never use. And this one power brick gets me most of the way to charging all the devices that I'm bringing. I do also have a spare single wall charger that I bring in my sling though. And this thing is a hyperdrive USB Type-C hub. So I plug one end into my MacBook and it gives me another USB-C port, 2 USB-As, and most importantly, an HDMI out. This is what I use when I'm presenting because they always have HDMI cables, but they don't always have the adapter. I'm pretty exacting about the things that I buy and bring with me. I like to do my own research, buy things I know I'll use a lot, and bring only those that I know I can count on. I'm hoping that by showing you some of what I've chosen, I'll save you time and money in doing the research and experimentation yourself. I'll leave links in the description below to everything that I've mentioned. And if you'd like to see what I do keep in my everyday sling bag, check out this video. Thank you for watching. Wag ninyong bilhin lahat to